Boom.
So most of us still have, like, played through the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Like, probably 100 times. Even past, like, after you get a car, past Sanctuary. I think up until Sanctuary, I think most people who enjoy um Borderlands have played to that point more times than they'd like to go back and do.
Yeah,
And so
actually.
so it's kind of going into it, it's kind of just like, I'm going to be bored playing this, so I don't really want
Until
to
a
play
certain
it.
point. But that certain
Yes.
point is so much time invested being bored.
To get there. And so that's the reason why when I did it, I was like, hey, you know what? Why don't we just start with my top level character and Book? Well, all of Buck's characters are around my top level character, if not the one that's much farther.
I only had 2 that were around your character. Everyone else was like 50, 60, something like that.
Oh, never mind.
I
see.
I have spent a
I'm
lot
not-
of time in BL2.
I got to the end, and then I moved on.
What is my counter on Borderlands 2? It is 645 hours.
I played Borderlands 2 on the Xbox 360 so that I could play with my friends in the States when I was overseas. But I never really got to play with my friends in the States when I was overseas because the internet in the barracks was so garbage that I would load into a game and then it would just stop.
Yeah.
It would just stop.
Speaking of internet, now that I have the internet that I do, I don't think I'm ever going to try and stream on Twitch.
Okay.
Okay, so a lot of the problems with Twitch is you have a 6 megabit cache or cap, right?
Uh-huh.
That is the highest amount that you can produce to Twitch. Now, the best way to get better visuals for a stream is to have a like H.264 with like the medium preset, which looks crisp, right? But if you don't have a computer that can handle that, your second best way is to create the most wide range of kilobit streaming that you can get. And when you have a gigabit of upload to pull from, and you have the ability to go higher than like 6, you can go up to like 20 to 40. It does help, but Twitch's 6,000
screws it.
Yeah, it kind of just because you can't really do much.
So what you're saying is you're going over to Mixer.
YouTube doesn't have a cap. But
YouTube is cancer.
true.
We didn't say it was a good idea. We said it was an idea.
Speaking of Mixer, I always thought that it was like I thought Mixer was just the thing that Xbox used to stream, not an actual streaming platform like Twitch. But apparently I'm wrong, considering that Ninja is switched over. Oh, no, he's 100% over there.
Yeah, no, yeah. Switched over to it. That's what I said.
I did not know this.
Well, I think that Microsoft actually made that move recently where you could into it without using your Xbox. You're still using a live account because you have you can use your live account on your computer. So I think they made that change relatively recently. Because I was tracking the same thing you were until I heard about Ninja switching over there.
Right. But apparently, yeah. No, it's a thing. It looks exactly like Twitch too. I mean, the colors are a little bit different,
Right.
but you can do everything from web shows, music, games,
Huh.
IRL.
I heard their terms of service is freaking gulag though.
Is it like worse than Twitch?
Worse than YouTube.
Oh,
That's saying something.
that is
Like,
saying
you
something.
know,
I will
with
agree.
YouTube you can actually get away with cracking jokes when you're criticizing someone. With Mixer, apparently you can't even really criticize anyone.
Well, that sounds like Xbox, to be honest.
Yeah. So, on the one hand, it's a better way to stream the game you're playing as long as you're not, you know, dropping N-bombs and the C words and stuff like that when you're getting your ass kicked. But on the other hand, it's not really a good place to go if you're making stuff criticizing things, because they'll nuke your ass.
Right.
They wanted to be
That's-
strictly for game streams, it sounds like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't have a problem with that. It's
If they
just,
want to do that, that's their prerogative.
yeah, I mean, I'd have to. This is all like secondhand information, by the way. I'm not claiming that that's exactly what it is. I'm just this is what I've been hearing and what I've been told, and I don't care enough to look into it myself. Just putting that out there.
Okay.
Mm.
So, I don't know. Maybe if we decide that we really just don't like using Twitch because it's Spurgs, then we might just take a look at that. I mean, we make fun of each other all the time, so we'll probably get kicked off after the first episode. But
See, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see how you could play a co-op game and not be yelling at your friends. Like,
I don't see how you could play a co-op game and not be screaming at your freaking monitor, winning
Yeah.
or losing.
Yeah. Exactly. Unless it's Mario Party, in which case, yeah, that's understandable. Mario Party ends
So-
more fucking friendships than, like, I don't know. I had an analogy and it's gone now.
Speaking of spewing obscenities, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's episode of Locked and Loaded. Copyclaimed 64 is title of today's show, apparently.
I meant to change that, but if you go into our catalog, you might see that there was no episode 64. Well, we had a little bit of an accident last week, and
entirely my fault.
no, dude, no.
Apparently, I can't even go and watch it.
Yeah,
It's like I was planning on giving it a watch so I could just laugh
only-
at their failure.
it's only 3 hours. And, we had a nice
Well,
little
you've been
intermission
watching-
where we had some smooth jazz playing, some smooth oldies, and apparently that warrants a worldwide block. So thanks, Faceless Music Company, for fucking us over.
You know what it was? Pav accidentally streamed a little bit of gangster rap from back in the early to mid '90s, where they were just the N bomb all over the place.
I found one of Frank Sinatra's mixtapes.
Here, can I even? go
Apparently,
through
he was racist as shit.
Apparently. Please don't sue
Anyways.
us, Zombie Frankie. We love you. Where's my fucking bottle opener? There we go.
Anyways, so we were just chatting a little bit about Borderlands 2 and why we're probably not going to stream that, and probably are going to stream Borderlands 3 when all three of us get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So
It's still on the Epic Store, isn't it?
look forward to that. I have no
100%
idea.
just Epic Store. Yeah, it's
Oh.
not on Steam.
I might actually break down because I don't really care about that whole Steam Epic
I
more bullcrap.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I
I
think
just
it's
want
fucking
games.
dumb.
I just want to play a
Yeah.
game. If I have to freaking go to Origin to get the game, I'll go to Origin. If I have to go to Bethesda to get the game, I'll go to Bethesda. If I have to go to freaking EA, the game's not worth playing. That's the joke. Origin is EA.
And they are so good at what they do, which is nothing.
I actually I actually logged into my Origin account for the first time last weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and it was either last weekend or at some point during the week, and downloaded Tib Wars 3 and Kane's Wrath because I wanted to play Global Conquest,
Okay.
and I had forgotten just how like shisty they made the AIs in Global Conquest. Because, like, when you start a regular campaigns or like a regular scenario
Mm-hmm.
or a skirmish, you both start as out with just your thing, your freaking mobile construction yard thing.
Yeah.
But in Global Conquest, they start out with a full base. And you start out with your mobile construction yard and whatever strike force you had with it.
Oof. That
Oof,
that's
indeed.
not good.
Yeah, I as much as I really enjoyed that game, after, 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't age very well with competition nowadays.
What?
It's like, because Global Conquest was, I really wish that someone else had come up with that kind of game type
Mm-hmm.
for like StarCraft or something similar, where you take over the whole quadrant or whatever,
Right.
but with StarCraft. So you're fighting Zerg or you're fighting Protoss and so on and so forth. Like, you guys know what freaking oh, what the hell? It's one of the Dawn of War expansions. Dark Crusade, I think it was.
We're talking the first one.
Yeah,
That's the one I
I'm
didn't
pulling
play.
it up right now. Yeah,
Oh, would you look at
Crusade
that?
is probably the closest to that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the same thing. It's like the AI cheats, like crazy cheats.
Okay.
It's like crazy cheats. In order for there to be any kind of actual challenge. But the problem is it cheats so damn much that the challenge goes from, all right, maybe I can survive this 10 minutes into the game. Then 15 minutes into the game, it's like they've been playing for 45 minutes.
Yeah. I had that issue with Warcraft,
Yeah, it's
where I have to after 50 minutes in, I'd get stormed by some bot, and this was on like normal, where it's like, okay, like, oh no. That's why I like
so
Total
yeah.
A.
And so I tried playing Dark Crusade again, and I was enjoying it, and then stopped playing because that was going on, and I was like, I just kind of realized that this is what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried playing Global Conquest because that's originally what I kind of wanted to play, and no dice there because that's exactly what was going on again. And, I play StarCraft. The AI is actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
It scales really well. They're not when you're playing versus AI, they have the same, like, everything is the same. They just make the AI smarter or using more advanced build orders or making better decisions or building more units to and so on and so forth, actually using their minerals that they have stockpiled rather than, you know, not.
Yeah. Did you ever play?
So I
Did
go
you ever
ahead.
play Total Annihilation?
I did.
What would you think of that compared to StarCraft?
I don't remember too well.
Because that's when it comes to strategy games. I don't usually like strategy games, but Total A is the one I always go back to.
So it really depends on what I'm feeling. So there's a couple of games that are really fun when it comes to like 4X or empire building.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Sins of a Solar Empire is a good one, but it's kind of broken as well because no matter what, it seems like everything you're fighting against has 10 or 11 times the resources you have.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's always fun.
So
Then
much
you
fun.
have Stellaris is pretty good. I actually enjoy that one. I just don't really feel like playing Empire Builders that often. Then you have the one-on-one skirmish stuff where StarCraft is king for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like the Total War style games. And I'm not really a big fan of the Total War games.
They can be alright if you're in the right mindset for it. I think they put a little bit more emphasis on resource management than strategy and combat.
Yes, the Total War stuff, it is definitely resource management. If you want to win your combat more often than not,
Mm-hmm.
you have to get good at the actual strategy element of it because they designed the strategy where if you are actually good at the whole rock paper scissors game, you
Mm-hmm.
can micro your units in such a way that you can win against the AI almost all the time, unless
Yeah.
they just outnumber you 10-1.
Like I played
But it is complete dice roll when you're just doing the auto.
yeah, which really like there's only two Total War games I played extensively: Medieval 2 and Shogun 2. And Shogun 2, like naval battles are just like if you do the auto encounter, you will lose every time. You can have
Yeah,
ironclads, they can have little wooden skiffs with bows, you will lose. How?
yeah.
I don't know.
So there was a Total War style game that I played not that long ago, and it started all out okay. I was enjoying it, and then um things just didn't start adding up.
Mm-hmm.
I had a city that was fully upgraded, right?
Okay,
And I
yep.
had more forces in the city than they were assaulting with,
Yeah.
and they took the city without very many losses at all. And that's not how that works.
No, no, it's not.
So if you're sieging a city, assaulting a city that is like sieged up and ready for you,
Yeah.
you have to have 10 times the forces assaulting the fortified position to break even.
Yeah.
It's like you have to outnumber the forces you're attacking so heavily for something like that to happen.
Yeah.
To even take the place, if you're assaulting a fortified position with even numbers, you're gonna freaking
You're setting
die.
yourself up to fail. Um,
And so that I just said no, I'm not actually going to play this game. And I'm trying to figure out what it was.
you haven't played a Warband, have you? Because Warband did sieges
Mm,
really well.
no, I didn't.
Okay,
Age of
Warband's...
Wonders 3. That's what it
Okay.
was. Age of Wonders 3. Age of
Okay.
Wonders 3, I got it was one of those free things. It turns out it was a bit of a scam as well to
Okay.
get you to it's a data mining thing that the company that did Age of Wonders 3 I think it was EA.
Big shocker.
Big shocker, yeah. Um but it was garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it started out all right. It was actually it made a lot of the resource management was really good, but the combat was garbage.
Yes,
So I said no.
you
Uninstalled it. I wish I could delete it from my library, but I can't. I don't even want to like be associated with the game at this point.
yeah.
It was just it was just such garbage.
You might like Warband. If I get a free night within the next month, I might be able to stream it for you. It's a nice blend of strategy and combat and research.
Strategy and tactics.
Yeah, but like active battlefield tactics and resource management takes kind of a backseat. Like the most you have to manage is how much money you're paying your troops and how much food do you have to feed them, and how fresh
See,
is it.
I like the resource management aspect of it though. It's like
I
that's
guess
one of
that's
my
where we
favorite things.
differ.
That's one of my favorite things about Stellaris is you really have to manage your resources. It's the same thing with what's it called? Endless Space 2. You really have to manage your resources in it as well
Mm-hmm.
as managing your how you advance your civilization and do combat and all that. You really got to manage it.
Okay.
So what were
So
the is Warband the one that you've been talking about for a while,
yeah,
or
yeah. It's graphically it's not very impressive, but in terms of getting a siege right, like if you're defending against a siege, you're going to have the bare minimum to do a siege is at least 4 times the amount of troops that you have while you're defending. Like when a if you're a warband leader and you try to besiege a castle, you need to have at least 4 times the amount of troops that they have to stand a chance. So usually what you'll see is if you're defending in a siege, every single lord on the opposing side shows up with armies of at least 200 plus and goes, "You!" And you have to sit there on the ramparts swinging an axe and praying you don't get hit. And oh my god, it's so much fun. Like Warband's not a very graphically impressive game, but it is so much fun because like if you got like a long axe or something with some reach, it's just like, fuck you, fuck you, you on the you. One star down the ladder, fuck you in particular because I have that kind of reach. The hitboxes are kind of janky. It's not really all that well programmed, but it gets the point across of oh god, the archers are down. What do we do?
so when is Bannerlord supposed to come out?
Yes.
Which
Okay.
what Bannerlords you said?
Bannerlord is the
Yes.
next one.
So Bannerlord, like I'm watching the trailer for that one, and that looks fantastic.
Bannerlord looks like a Diet Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Basically, but if considering I just came from watching the trailer for uh Warband,
Yeah.
like
And that's not a knock against Bannerlord. Like I really want this. Like they've really upped customization and graphics and all that stuff. I mean, like you play Warband now, you'd think you were playing RuneScape in 2002.
just
Like the graphics are not good, but the mechanics are solid.
I don't know. Okay, so the graphics, at least the lighting for it, looks better than Fallout New Vegas, and you can mod Fallout New Vegas to look okay. So,
Yeah,
one of the biggest.
your ENBs and all that.
Well, no.
No.
I disagree with people who use EMBs because, especially with New Vegas, on 4 I can understand it. 4 actually uses more than one processor core.
Oh,
But
okay.
New Vegas will use 1 to 2 only, which
Mm-hmm.
means no matter what kind of rig you have, you're going to be running at 30 FPS if you use an EMB.
Okay, yeah.
Um, but there are lighting mods out there that aren't EMB based, so they're not sweet effects DLL based. They're just they change the lighting and they add in like a better depth of field. Obviously, they can't do shadows
Yeah.
like what an EMB can do. Um, but things like Project Reality and Fallout
Yeah.
and Realistic Lighting Overhaul, those mods actually can make the game a lot better. So looking at the just like the lighting, which is one of the main things you'll notice when you're playing a video game, is how textures can make a game look better, but a game with terrible lighting always looks terrible. A
Yes.
game with kind of lower end textures but really solid lighting can hide the fact that there are bad textures.
Yeah,
Because
Warband stuff is decent. You can't really do anything for lighting. You can do some pretty like there's one mod I use called Florus. And how the base game works is you're just this kind of this errant foot soldier trying to make his way in the world, and your goal is to become the emperor of the land. What Florus lets you do is not only does it enhance all of the weapons by making each faction historically accurate in a sense, like you've got the Swadians who are the English knights, the Rodoks are like the Italian infantry with crossbows and all that. You can enlist under a lord, and you are treated as a soldier,
wait,
as an AI unit. But you have autonomy. You can still like fight as well as you can fight. And as you get promoted, you get their gear. So you get free gear. And every time your lord goes to a city, hey, you can buy more gear. It's pretty nice.
well, okay, so is Warband, because the game you were explaining to me was an RPG.
It is an RPG, yeah.
It's 100% like you don't have to get involved with all these different kinds of things. You can end up in a more RPG setting of just like wandering and dealing with different factions, right?
Yeah. You can swear allegiance to a faction. You don't have to. But how else are you going to become a member of Caldradia if you don't swear allegiance to a faction and then use that faction to take over the rest of the continent?
Is that the
I don't
goal?
know. You could just go
That's the end
independent
goal,
and
yeah.
then just start owning people.
I have done that, and when you do that, every faction declares war on you immediately, and it's like, fuck!
Sounds like a good time.
I've got this
Wait.
little tiny castle, and I've been besieged by 6 armies from 6 different factions. Oh no, I've made a mistake.
Bring it on. I will rule you all. As an example of what Pav was saying earlier with the shitty textures and the good lighting, Ark had really, really good lighting.
Yeah. Well,
Ark had really, really shitty textures.
if you could play at that high end lighting system, a lot of originally when I tried to play it, I could not. Like I had to turn all of the lighting down to like low to get an even okay FPS
Yeah.
out of that game. It was
But-
not optimized well.
No, it wasn't. I mean, I love the game. I still love the game. I haven't played it in a little while, but I still love the game. But it was not optimized, like, very well at all. But, as an example, its lighting was really good, but most of its textures were really basic and crap. But it still looked amazing.
Wait, so kind of coming back to something that we were talking about a little bit ago, to bring up, I have edited out all of the music out of episode 64.
Okay.
Is that what you've been doing this entire
Yeah.
time?
Yeah. Been figuring out how to do that. So 64, after it's done processing, it should be available.
Sweet.
Okay.
Second thing, speaking of games like this that are interesting, I'm really upset right now. Um, Completely changing the time period discussion from medieval to modern, which is Arma 3. You see, I think it's in four paw or no pav no. Yeah, no pav no. Mayark happened to post a video of some guy playing a Arma 3 Fallout Nuclear Winter mod, right?
I told you it existed.
No, you don't understand. It is not one mod. It is multiple mods meshed together. And you can't find even half of them. Most of the mods that were used in this to make the world look like Fallout, and a bunch of other stuff along with like factions and weaponry, do
He
not
made?
exist. Well,
They don't exist anymore?
not he made, his buddy did, and they're not like available. They were only for his server that he had for this video.
Ew. Not cool.
And I was just like, God damn it. So, anybody who's in the Discord, including you two,
Yeah,
should
Down
actually
Under
watch
Gaming.
this. It's hilarious.
I will take a look, but not today.
Most
Right,
of the
it's-
Arma vids I watch involve Soviet Womble. Have you seen some of his
See,
stuff?
Soviet's hilarious, and this guy was actually compared to it, and he made a response. I think it was on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, I'm not exactly like Soviet Womble. There is a lot of similarities, but I'm more narrative based, if that makes any sense. Soviet
Right.
Womble, you understand that something's going on in the background, and some of the things connect together, but it's not connected. But it doesn't need to be. It's the jokes. It's what's funny, the interesting little pieces of information that happens to happen when happens to be there when he's recording this. With this guy, his name's Remy. He tends to edit his to be a lot more so if you were to watch the video, it definitely plays out in a narrative.
Mhm.
Granted, you don't get everything, and it's mostly snippets of funny information, but it's more narrative based than joke, if that makes any sense. It's like Soviet grabs all the funny things, but
Yeah.
Remy grabs all the funny
Like,
things that
Soviet
work
grabs-
towards a narrative.
Soviet grabs his friend shelling his friends, and he's like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" The fuck?
Yeah, this is a lot more RP driven.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, Merc knows Remy.
yeah, well, yeah, he's the one that shared the video. Mark, we're gonna have some words.
Yeah.
Because you got my hopes up, and I was so excited, and I couldn't find almost any of those
When
mods.
Paz says that you guys are going to have words, he means he's going to have words, and you're going to take a tongue lashing.
Isn't that what that means, just in general?
No?
Oh. Could have swore that was, like, the colloquial meaning of that term.
No.
But yeah, so I was just really grumpy because I spent an entire morning trying to find
All the mods that don't
all the-
exist?
that just aren't there. And after like searching them up, I'm like, no, why don't I just go back and grab the video and see if they're all listed in the no.
By the way, this is where Merc drops a link somewhere
Yeah.
to all of those
Those
mods.
sweet
If he
mods.
does, that would be great. I would be so happy because I couldn't find anything.
And then he gets to give you a tongue lashing
Mark.
for being so incompetent.
Hey, I'd be completely okay with that. I would now have Fallout mods for Alma 3.
Are you kidding? I mean, you'd be so okay with it, you'd bend over and apply the lube yourself.
Okay, let's not go that far. I wasn't going to fuck him in the, like. I said words, not dicking.
What's the difference?
One involves a penis.
I've never been raped by words.
You lost me.
Fucking. Oh, I'm gonna get a refill.
Yeah,
I'll be back in
you-
a second.
Found me again. You said fucking. You found me again. Okay. Who we fucking?
So another thing that we have ran into is was it this week that the or this last week that the embargo lifted, or did Youngblood actually release this last week?
I think it actually released this last week.
Okay, so Wolfenstein Youngblood released. Given yes, it's there. It was released last week. Now I watched E3, as you probably are all remember when we did the whole E3 thing. I watched the Bethesda showcase. And the impression that was given from Youngblood was this was exactly like 2, Wolfenstein 2, and it was but the only difference was it was co-op. Like, it was still a narrative story-driven game where you kill Nazis.
Got
Right?
it.
Well, when people started putting their reviews out for it, I realized this is not a Wolfenstein game. This is like a really, really bad version of Destiny.
Oh my god.
This is like a really cheap version of Destiny that's only co-op. And
That's how bad it is.
I watched one reviewer that made this statement. He's like, with the way that the world works and how bad the respawn rate is and how boring the quests are and how bad the when you die, like, you physically respawn as well, how bad that all is, this game actually incentivizes you not to kill Nazis.
Oh, Youngblood?
Yeah.
Yeah, what
Because
That's not Wolfenstein.
no, because the way that it responds and everything that happens, it's just like, I'm just going to run past all of these. I'm not even going to try and shoot them because they'll respawn in the next 2 minutes. Given it's not a linear game anymore. It's a quote unquote open world with a hub zone. And the hub zone is literally just characters that have a name, but that's it. They give you stupid quests that, much like the quests from Fallout 4 and Fallout 76, they're all just the same place. Hey, go here, kill this, go here, grab this.
Yeah, that sounds worse than 76, honestly.
It's pretty bad. Not only that, all of the cutscenes with these two characters were awful. Like, I saw one example of it where they were talking to each other, and it was like, I'm not the best writer. I understand this. One of the things that I cannot do very well is write dialogue. But you know one thing I would never do? I would never write dialogue where one character says something, another character responds that is completely not a response to the previous thing the person said. The next character says something else that, again, had nothing to do with the last two things that were said. And then the last person says something, again, that had nothing to do with anything anybody else said. If that made any sense, I don't know how to, like... I don't know if there's a term for that.
I can follow you. What got me is, did you watch V's review of Youngblood?
No, I didn't.
I did a
didn't
review.
either. I don't really watch a lot of V.
He showcased a clip where, like, the two sisters are reacting to their first kill, and they're somewhere between laughing and vomiting. And I'm like, is this funny, Or is this like, oh god, I've killed some... Like, okay, Tomb Raider. Lara Croft makes her first kill, and she goes through kind of this, like, mental
PTSD
breakdown.
moment.
Like, oh god,
Yeah.
what have I done? And then she has to adjust
Past that-
really fast.
Yeah, to survive.
And these two sisters are like, oh, that's so funny! And it's like, okay, are these characters autistic? That's the only way I can
There's
see them.
something.
Like, they're not right. There has to be some inbreeding going on or something. I don't know, but like that's not... Unless this game just doesn't take itself seriously in the slightest. Which apparently it doesn't if you can't even pause the game when you're playing by yourself. Like, wow. Who the fuck wrote this? I'm going to take them up back and give them a couple of whacks across the head with some buckshot. Fucking... It's like, that's not good character development. That's not good... That's not a good way to make you empathize with the character. That just makes you go, okay, what the fuck's wrong with these two? Whatever. That's what I think. Oh my god. It's a...
Fuck.
Hmm?
Oh,
you hear
now I
us?
can hear us.
Oh. I couldn't
Like
hear you
you
before?
couldn't hear us at all for a little bit,
Apparently
and you
not.
were cutting in and out.
Okay, well, we'll see if that shows up in the stream.
Yeah, go fix
So-
yourself.
I've...
So one of the things that I saw someone respond to in their review of it, they were talking about how the game is supposed to be set in the mid '80s, and the only thing that suggests that it was set in the '80s, because the world doesn't look like it's set in the '80s, nothing else looks like it is set in the '80s. Is like you'll hear some techno music, German techno music at the beginning of one level.
Well, you honestly, freaking the Wolfenstein 2 was supposed to be set in the what
Was it the
Did he
60s?
spent 10 he spent 10 years in a coma, I think.
Yeah,
Well, not in a
Wolfenstein.
coma. He spent 10 years being 100% brain dead in that freaking mental health home.
Right, which
and I think the first reboot starts in like the 1950s, something like that, like late 50s,
No,
maybe early
It's like-
60s.
no, Wolfenstein
D-Day.
2 is set in '61. In 1961 is when Wolfenstein 2 takes place, and then by
So it was 20 years? Because I thought it took place, the Wolfenstein 1 took place in 1941.
Let me go look. Wolfenstein: The New Order, which was the reboot of it, takes place in 19. I'm sorry, hold on. It was really easy with Wolfenstein 2. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more reading for Wolfenstein.
I think New Order was in like 1950s. Or late
So-
50s at most.
Okay, so it must have been only a year that he was in a coma because.
But in the game, it said it was 10.
Well, Wolfenstein: The New Order, which stars PJ Blazkowicz, takes place in 1960.
Okay.
And then,
Okay.
okay, hold on, wait a second. Old Blood came after The New Order.
Well, you have New Order, then you have Shadow of the Colossus, or New Colossus,
New Colossus.
and then you have Young Blood.
Okay, so Wolfenstein: Old Blood is a standalone prequel
Yes.
to. Okay, so that takes place in 46, and then The New Order, which takes in place in 1960, and then 2 takes place in 1961.
Okay, so you had the full reboot, which was the actual reboot of freaking Wolfenstein, and that took place during World War II.
2014.
That was
2015.
1940s. And then you had the sequel to it, New Order, took place in at the end ish, or a little. It started a little after the end of the reboot, because they're storming Castle Wolfenstein,
Mm-hmm.
and then he gets the living shit kicked out of him and washes up on shore. It's like he's not able to speak. He's not able to respond. He's practically brain dead because he got kind of shot in the head. And he was there for what I thought was like 10 years, because that's what it said. That's what I remember the game saying. I could be wrong. I might have to just re-download the Wolfenstein games and.
Okay, so
Wait.
according to synopsises,
Synopses.
uh, your assassination of Nazi General Death Shed was a short-lived victory. Despite the setback, the Nazis maintained their stranglehold on the world. You, BJ Black. It doesn't talk about, because I know the beginning mission of 2, the new Colossus. So you're in a wheelchair for the beginning of it.
The New Order starts the opening to it is you're storming Castle Wolfenstein, and that storming fails horribly. So your entire squad gets freaking butt fucked, including you, and then you end up in a wheelchair, and you're brain dead in a Normandy French, freaking insane asylum. It's like. And I could have swore 10 years passed while you were there. And then the freaking Nazis showed up. And we're going to kill you. And they killed what's her name's dad, the doctor, because she was the nurse, but that was her dad. And then you snap out of it suddenly, start fucking killing Nazis. And then that's where the game really takes off.
Wait, hold on. Did the New Order star BJ Blazkowicz?
Yes.
Yeah, he was the main character.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, here's why I'm making that statement. Because in Old Blood, the prequel that takes place in 1946, stars BJ Blazkowicz. It's stated all over the page.
Right.
The New Order that takes place in 1960 has no mention of BJ Blazkowicz in the page. But then
it's BJ Blazkowicz.
Okay. The reason that's the only explanation I can give you then. Where I was going with that. No, I'm on the Steam page.
Okay.
I could go look at the Wikipedia now that you bring that up. I didn't think about that at all. So,
Wolfenstein Wikipedia. Series of action games centered around World War II. So, let's see. Synopsis. New Order came out in 2014.
14, yeah.
Yeah, you have Wolfenstein in 2009. I remember that one. I wanted to play that one.
5 month long coma. It was only 5 months.
New Order 2000. So the reboot of the franchise, BJ Blazkowicz. A prequel to New Order is Old Blood. And that was him being undercover. Then New Colossus is 5 months after the events of New Order.
Yeah.
And he was in a coma. Yeah. I remember that. But
so it wasn't 10 years,
I'm talking
it was only
about
5 months.
Well, yeah, no. Freaking the 10 years thing happened in the New Order at the beginning of it. 14 years. It wasn't 10 years, it was 14 years.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you were saying. I
Yeah,
thought
that's
you
what
were
I was saying.
saying that he was because I knew that there was. Okay, you were saying before
Yes,
old
that
New Order, he was
it's
in a
like
coma.
at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, at the beginning of the New Order, you're storming Castle Wolfenstein, and then it goes horribly wrong, and he's in a coma.
Mm-hmm.
14 years later, up in an asylum. Has no idea how much time has passed, and then he starts fucking killing Nazis that are trying to kill the people there. And then you have freaking New Colossus. He was in a coma again,
Jesus,
but he
this
was
dude.
only in the coma for 5 months.
Jesus Christ. I'm laughing because I'm looking at the New Order trailer. I love it in June 1st, 1950, during a soccer game in Brazil. Some guy knocks someone over. And the ref comes out to give him a card. The guy starts arguing with the ref. The ref pulls out a Luger and shoots him in the head.
Awesome. That's awesome.
That's real soccer right
Um,
there. Are you with the
so
ref?
I
Oh, you don't get to keep anything now.
So I've wanted to play, like, when Wolfenstein 2 came out, I wanted to play it. The problem is I have not played the New Order, and I have not played Old Blood. And I am one of those people that can't start in the middle. I This is the reason why I like Fallout. I like to know everything. And I don't like to
So,
miss anything.
for the purpose of playing it in a chronological timeline order,
Right,
you should
you'd
play
play.
Old Blood,
Yep,
then New Order,
yep,
then New
New
Colossus,
Colossus.
and then
Yep.
Youngblood. Though I wouldn't
Or
recommend you play Youngblood at this point.
I wouldn't
This pulls
recommend
us
you
back into
buy
Young
it.
Blood. So Young Blood is really bad. It's set in the 80s, a lot longer after this. Apparently, BJ Blazkowicz is an old man and he's disappeared.
How the hell can he be a whole old man? He's got a cyborg body.
Um, don't tell the
Reasons.
developers that. Um, in a lot of the cutscenes that I've seen from it, he's an old man. Um,
He wouldn't send up to fucking Marcus Phoenix to tell you that.
but and now the game is taken over by his two daughters, who are incredibly cringy, and people can only guess that the reason why they talk in such an inconsistent and reasonable manner that makes any sense at all is because they were trying to go for that 80s vibe. The problem is that 80s vibe doesn't really show within the rest of the game, and like you were just talking about when they killed their first person, it also doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, one of them is like, what if he's dead? And the other one responds with something along the lines of, we got this. And then the first one responds with something along the lines of, as if the other one said, what if he's dead? Starts hyping herself up. Is just really bad. And I'm kind of disappointed because I'm also incredibly confused. The way that this game was set up, it didn't look like it was going to be a kind of looter shooter.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
everything that they were setting it up to be was it wasn't going to be a looter shooter. It was going to be a co-op first person.
yeah, but it's not. And the problem is it has to be played co-op. So do you guys remember that game, the Prison Break game,
Yes.
where you had to play co-op because like a
We're
lot of things you had to do were with another person.
we're not talking Army of Two. We're talking something else.
No, no.
I thought Army of Two was amazing.
That's one I wanted to play but didn't get to.
This was an indie game that
I
ended
only got
up
to play
getting
it,
some
like,
bad
twice.
reviews. I don't remember the name of it. It ended up getting some bad reviews because, like, the story wasn't like the greatest. But it was very interestingly done, where it was all third person, and it was done more in the lengths of an interactive film than a video game. So, like, you'd get split screen that would look more like a film split screen, where it was like kind of shaped around the body of whoever it was, and they would constantly change the shape of it, how much went into what.
Okay.
And like all of the missions had to be done by two different people. Like one guy would distract the guard, the other guy would, get in there, blah 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 blah. It was really well executed as far as those things go, and it was rather interesting. But it looks like that's kind of what they were going for with this game. The
Was
problem
the
is
forced co-op aspect, for lack of a better term?
it's not forced co-op. It's like they didn't code the game to be a single-player game, even though you can play it single-player.
So forced co-op.
I,
That's just how I
like-
see it. You can
I
fight
can
me on
understand
it,
what you're
but-
saying. I understand what you're saying. It's just like so one of the guys about it in his review was complaining about the fact that your sister becomes an AI if you don't have if you're not doing co-op, but she's retarded. Like he showed a bunch of footage of her just like when you go down, the sister's supposed to like bring you. Instead of doing that, she'd just be sitting there, not shooting, mind you,
Just hanging.
just swat.
Did we cut out again? Oh, great. Is this working? Oh my god. Oh my god. Please, no. Oh my god. Can you hear me? Okay. Someone's internet died. I don't know whose. Can you hear Pig? Is it just me? Shit. Just when you need midstream. God damn it. Thanks, YouTube. Fucking Christ. What do I do? Let me, well, if Firefox starts playing nice, okay, just me. Alright, that's, interesting. I'm gonna start closing all these article tabs because apparently games journals don't know how to optimize their goddamn web pages. And we'll see where that gets us. God damn it. Uh... Oh, good. Firefox is locking up. That's what we need. That's what we need right about now. Oh my god, why? That's too much memory to be using up. What the fuck? Come on. This is fucking stupid. Oh. Remember Discord. Let me, Let me... Yeah, I'm gonna crash Discord and reopen it, because what the hell? Oh, it's just moving really, really slow. Why is Firefox using so much memory? This is why I shouldn't be the host, because my rig is just dying. All right. Yeah, if you get to hear me. Great. Are you serious? Come on. Okay, I'm down to my stream page. What the fuck? Alright, I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense. Jesus Christ. Talking Wolfenstein and then this happens. It's like, why? Why? No, Merc, I can't hear either of them. I'm rebooting Discord now. And we'll see what this does. We'll see what this does. This is fuck. Maybe I should no longer be hosting the show. Because this is absurd. This is absurd. There is no reason for this. Oh, we're connecting. Hello? Hello? God damn it. Guys? No, okay, oh fuck, okay. I can see you two lighting up. What's the video? Okay, problem solved. My Discord was going like, fuck you. Good update, Discord.
What?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I had to reboot Discord and then reassign the default programs in sound to get this to fucking work.
Wow. Okay,
I
see, we've
should
been able
not
to
be
hear
there.
you
It
the
was
entire
actually
time.
quite. It was actually quite amusing.
Yeah.
Hey, Buck, can you hear us now? And you just keep going on. It's like,
It's like
God
you-
fucking damn it, you son of a fucking bitch. God damn. Yeah, I'll take that as a fucking no.
If only they could hear us. Like,
Well, I was entertaining to say the least.
well, alright.
If not to everyone else in the chat, then at least you guys. So I did my job, maybe.
So yeah, we were just chatting about some of the interesting things that you find in the Wolfenstein games, and I definitely knew that the next game was probably going to be pretty fucking cringy and not very Wolfenstein-y at all.
Why? What makes you? What the fuck?
You could just kind of tell by the way the writing was going, by the way the story was kind of going, that it was just going to kind of go that way. So, like,
I mean,
blonde Nazi chick. Like, this is kind of a spoiler, but not a spoiler at the same time. Blonde Nazi chick has this daughter. This daughter is fucking fat. Right? But her mom is an abusive body shaming piece of shit.
Okay.
Well, they go on this whole body positivity tinge thing, and daughter betrays mom and stuff for reasons.
See, see that for me, from what I've seen, it doesn't even look like the game. There is enough game there to even have that issue.
Well, I didn't so much think that it was going to... What I was trying to say is I was pretty sure that the next game was going to be terrible. Either because the writers or because the mechanics were crap, because they had to fire all of their all their game programmers because they just didn't want to make the freaking storyline that the freaking writers were writing because it wasn't a Wolfenstein game, or what we have now, where it was just a shovel out the fucking door.
Which, I mean, it kind of sucks because it's been it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's been 2
But
years since. Well, that's strange to think about. It's been 2 years since Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah.
It still feels like that's a brand new game.
Well, it's that's just how things get as you get older. You know, time just seems to fly so much faster.
Oh, I found out that they're making a sequel, a actual proper sequel. We do not talk about the TV show to Zombieland.
I didn't even know it had a TV show.
There's a TV show.
Let's not talk about the TV show.
Let's
So
pass
bad.
on that.
But I saw that trailer, and I'm just like, this is either going to be fucking amazing,
Yeah,
or fucking horrible.
I have this horrible feeling it's going to be bad. I don't know why.
I have this feeling that it's kind of be a mix of the two. You're going to have moments that are just like, this is fucking hilarious, and then moments like, oh, that's so cringe. And I don't like cringe comedy, like, at all.
Well, see, the first movie didn't have it. I mean, there were some things that you're like,
Oh God, why?
No, the first
But
one wasn't cringy at all. It was all like
I know.
pure goofy fun fantasy stuff.
It was literally just, you know,
Too extreme stereotype.
Okay, so here's the thing. In my opinion, Zombieland for me is the perfect zombie movie. I don't like horror, so it's not something that so the fact that it wasn't actually incredibly scary was a good
I
thing.
know, I know you'll have people who say Shaun of the Dead's better, but you know what? What gave me a point towards Zombieland over Shaun of the Dead is I didn't have to watch someone getting their intestines ripped out in Zombieland. Like no,
Ah,
like I saw that in Shaun of the Dead. I'm like, I'm out. Like fuck, no, no, I'm out. Fuck, no, I'm done. I don't know
So
what it
like,
is, but just watching like Simon Pegg's best friend get his guts ripped out, I'm just like, I can't watch this. I fucking can't.
so I have like a limit to the gore. It's like I can't watch House of a Thousand Corpses
Mm-hmm.
or anything done by Rob Zombie because of how much gore is in it. Now I can watch freaking what's it called? Preacher, and I can watch The Boys, and it's got a significant amount of gore, but it's different. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels and looks
Um,
it
I
just feels
can't
different.
is it an
see. I
em-
can't say. I'm
is
sorry.
it
Go ahead.
is it an empathy thing?
I'm not sure. It's
So
like I couldn't watch The Hills Have Eyes either.
Well, I just don't do horror, so the hills have
So
eyes
because
doesn't walk with
I'll
me.
watch horror films, but I'll watch creature flicks.
yeah,
So I can get behind creature flicks.
you got you and I have the same problem. It's an empathy thing. Like I can play Killing Floor 2 for hours on end, disembowelments, beheadings, dismemberments, whatever. Like I'm fine with that until it happens to a character that I really like, and then it's like, oh god, fuck, no, no,
No,
stop.
I don't think that's what it is.
Okay, maybe not.
I don't think that's what it is because it's more of a visceral type reaction. Like I can watch Conan, right? And
Yeah, I
Conan
can
was
I can watch
I can
RoboCop and I'm
barely
fine.
I can barely watch Conan. And it's all because of one scene. It's that opening scene where he's chopped the dude's head off, right? And then you see him get into the room with the dude's head. And then the head falls to the freaking floor and the eyes are closed at first. And then when the head stops rolling, the eyes open.
Ugh.
I can't watch that scene. And the reason I can't watch that scene is because I just see it in my head. Like I see that
Yeah.
from me being the head on the floor.
See, I can't say shit about gore because I like Quentin Tarantino movies.
I love Quentin
Um,
Tarantino movies.
so you get movies like Hateful Eight, where that whole fucking Channing Tatum being like, "Say adios to your huevos," and where he shoots off Samuel Jackson's balls, or
I can watch Hateful Eight. I loved Hateful Eight.
how
It's
about
just
I'll be right back.
it's certain types of gore that gets me. And
uh
I'm actually I don't know. It's weird. I'm you guys know me. I'm a very graphic person when it comes to innuendos and stuff like that, right? I can't watch sex scenes. It makes me cringe.
really?
I'm not kidding. If it starts getting into one of those like hot and heavy sex scenes that are just completely unnecessary to the story, it bothers me and I skip through it.
Okay, hold on. Let's roll back. What would you consider a sex scene that's unnecessary to the story? Because I'm pretty sure you and me watch different movies and like different movies. So why don't you
I,
give me an example?
it's hard for me to give an example. Freaking honey, what was the last movie we were watching that had a sex scene that I really just wanted to skip through? No, not that one. Uh, Okay, TV show instead. Lucifer? Yeah, okay.
Huh.
It's weird. It's like it's some of them there are sex scenes that I can sit through and I can watch and it doesn't bother me. But in other ones it just bothers me. I don't really want to watch it or anything like that. I think it just has something to do with, is this a blatant sex scene just to have a sex scene?
Oh yeah, no,
Or
don't even
is
get me started on
this
the Matrix stuff.
or is this a yeah, I skipped through the Matrix one.
Yeah.
So or is this a sex scene to show their passion for each other and everything like that?
Did you ever watch Westworld?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Westworld, the director, Jonathan Nolan, the younger brother of Christopher Nolan, um, was trying to implement into your brain, as much as they could, that the hosts weren't real. So a lot of the time, he would put the actors who were playing hosts into very, I wouldn't say uncomfortable, but just into scenes that were kind of demoralizing. So, like the first time you see one of the main characters, Dolores, she's naked.
I can
Is
do nudity.
right, but there's a ton of not really sex. I don't remember how many sex scenes were in the show, but there were sex scenes, and the entire point behind that, not the entire point, but one of the points behind that is just the fact that the hosts are not human. You should not feel bad for the hosts. You should not feel anything for the hosts because you can't. You shouldn't be able to relate to them. That's what they were trying to present to you. Um okay, every video game sex scene is entirely skippable. Let's be honest.
Yes.
Um
Yes,
uh,
I will agree with that. It's just I don't know. It's just there for some reason. It's like, and this even happens like if I watch a movie for the first time and I don't know there's a sex scene, or if it's done in a really good way, then I can watch. It's like the last movie that I remember watching where I can actually sit through the sex scene, where I could actually sit through the sex scene. I'm not sure if I can anymore. It's been so long since I've watched the movie. It was Desperado with Antonio Banderas back in like it was 94, 95.
okay.
And what's her name?
So
No one has
She
an
did
answer for that because
Sarah-
we haven't
Her
seen
name
that.
her name is she did Serendipity in Dogma.
Serendipity. That rings a bell.
I'm awful with names, so you're never gonna
No,
get an answer.
She was the muse.
That doesn't help.
Yeah, you're never gonna get an answer from me when it comes to names.
Okay, either way, freaking I think that was actually the last, and I think I was like 14 or 15 when I watched this movie the first time. I could sit through and watch that. But from what I can remember, it's just been this mix of, why are you putting this in here? I don't care about this. And
American Beauty.
Well, if it's Serendipity, Kate Beckinsale.
yes, let's go with that.
Underworld.
So did you ever see American Beautiful, or American Beauty? American Beauty.
I don't think so.
It's with
So, like, an example. Most 90s movies with sex scenes in them, I can sit through for some reason. But starting probably 2002, 2003, they just, for some reason, I just can't. It's just like, this is just, watching this is making me uncomfortable.
man, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember sex scenes from movies, so I'm trying to remember
Yeah, I'm just
like any of them.
I will admit that I'm fucking weird. I don't understand it myself. I just can't. But going back to like the gore stuff, like I can watch Jurassic Park. I can watch Jurassic World where you watch the guy just get chomped. I can watch that. I can watch Tremors. I can watch
Tremors.
I can
God
watch
damn it.
freaking Starship Troopers where you watch the dudes get ripped to
Oh,
pieces.
good movie.
I can watch so many different creature flicks that have just blatant gore in them. Freaking Tales from the Crypt, Bordello of Blood. Some of the most blatant gore I've ever seen. Can watch it. But House of a Thousand Corpses. Can't watch it. Freaking The Hills Have Eyes. Can't watch it. Freaking the one scene from Red Dragon where he takes the top of the dude's head off while he's still alive. Can't watch it. Can't watch it. It freaking gives me a cringe reaction and I just can't do it. And I really just don't understand why.
I don't know. I'm scrolling through my list of movies that I have right now, and I'm like, most of the James Bond technically have sex scenes. I was okay with them because that's who that character is. Um,
Yeah,
jeez.
Merc, I used to think that that's what it was. It's so blatantly there and the whole point is that they're displaying it. But not quite because there are some scenes in the 90s movies that I don't watch and a lot of it I think with the whole sex scene stuff has more to do with the plot. Like you can get across that they're doing the deed. They're freaking having sex with each other in a very different way that forwards the plot.
Yeah, like this is where I leave you. There were a few. Um, there were a few of those. See, most of the movies that I watch, it's like, uh, the characters make the decision. Obviously, I'm being a little bit callous with the way I'm saying this. It's not how it actually goes. The characters make the decision to have sex, and then it cuts to somewhere else the next morning. Blah blah blah. Blah. It doesn't need. You don't need to see the fact that they're having sex, and that's a lot of the movies that I watch.
Yeah, like
So
a really good example, I think, of what's a good, tasteful sex scene to me that I can actually sit through and enjoy. Like, not really enjoy a sex scene. I won't try to skip through it. Is freaking, what's it? Pretty Women. It's
well,
like
yeah.
they have a lot of sex scenes in that, but all you see is the start, and then it fades out.
Yeah. How about the Mask of Zorro?
It's like Mask of Zorro. I don't remember.
Okay.
And yeah, maybe you're right, Merc. Freaking stuff that's just freaking this is what's happening and it's grotesque and it's horrible. But stuff that's like shock value stuff. Stuff that's just trying to shock you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what it is cuz a lot of those movies that I can't watch is just it's the shock value is that they're trying to get from you and it just bothers me. I'd find it very distasteful. But that's probably why I don't like cringe comedy very much because the whole point is they're trying to push the envelope. They're trying to get a reaction out of you. They're trying to make you uncomfortable. They're trying to do this. And it's
Well,
just
okay.
like, dude,
So
I'm not interested in that.
I want to make there's a difference. There's a difference between trying to make you uncomfortable and trying and cringe comedy. See, cringe comedy, in my opinion, is about the sympathy thing. It's you putting yourself in the shoes of the other person and laughing at the fact of like, oh, God, I can't even give an example. I don't even want to try cringe
Okay.
comedy. Like,
Here's an example of what I consider cringe comedy before it started just getting stupidly annoying. Meet the Fockers.
I never seen that film. Because I've seen some things, like I've seen the trailers around it and it did not look interesting to me at all.
The last piece of cringe comedy I saw that was not necessarily good, but just last one I saw was a Dinner for Schmucks.
I don't think I saw that one.
Steve Carell like playing this taxidermist who's trying to get laid.
What is it? Hang on. Honey, what was that
Okay.
I shouldn't even say trying to get laid, just trying to find a date. But like all of his stuff involved like dioramas with taxidermified mice. And it's like, okay, Dinner for Schmucks. It's like, okay, this is because yeah, The Hangover.
Yeah,
I've seen The
exactly.
Hangover at least 1 and 2, and I'm like, these just. It's not my kind of. I'm like, this isn't funny.
No, it's not my. It's not my thing. Like
It's
if
not
I
mine.
go
Hot Fuzz is funny.
Hot? See, that's
Hot Fuzz is
Snatch.
like-
Snatch is funny.
Snatch
So,
funny?
Snatch has its moments.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz. Those are funny. But that's
That's the same. Those are the same guys.
I like British comedy.
I mean, have you seen Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels?
Yes.
Okay,
That's
so
a funny
when I
movie.
Said, when I said Meet the Fockers, I was thinking of the first movie, Meet the Parents.
Right.
Meet the Parents is the one I was thinking of. Meet the Fockers, it was starting to get into it's being cringy just to be cringy and shock value cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of cringe comedy because it
Hey,
makes
it's
me cringe.
Paz.
There's still Pez in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of modern cringe comedy. I'm a fan of 90s, early 2000s cringe comedy. Meet the Parents, early Ben Stiller, freaking
I still can't do Ben Stiller.
freaking Chris Farley movies.
Chris Farley's great.
Who's all right? Let me go.
That
look at
was
this.
My
Chris
name
Farley
is
cringe
Matt
comedy.
Foley.
Because you absolutely know that what he's doing is absolutely retarded, but you can't help but laugh.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're talking about Tommy Boy in
Yeah, Tommy Boy
Tommy
and
Boy,
Black
Beverly Hill
Sheep
Ninja.
and Beverly Hill
was
Ninja.
good, yeah.
That is 90s. That is 90s.
I mean,
Quote
stuff,
unquote cringe comedy.
But
You
those
know
are
it's
classics.
Stuff like Rush
It's
Hour
still-
with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan.
Right.
yeah. It's
Was that
still
cringe comedy?
It's cringe comedy, but it
Yeah,
still it still
it's
tells a
90s.
story.
yeah, it's 90s cringe comedy. That's what it was before it turned into what it is
it's
now.
like you're laughing at someone's incompetence, but it still moves things forward as opposed to just pointing and laughing at a character.
How about
yeah,
Shanghai
like
Noon?
Adam Sandler.
Oh,
Shanghai
Shanghai
Noon was
Noon was
entertaining.
fucking great. Shanghai Nights. Shanghai Noon's a classic because you get Owen Wilson trying to be like a badass, and he just can't do anything right. Meanwhile, Jackie Chan is just
I
doing
also
this
have
show.
I also have a soft spot for Jackie Chan. Like so.
Yes,
Because
you
he
and
does his
Panda
own
both.
stunts.
It's like
Because I grew up on a lot of Jackie Chan films, like The Medallion, not just Medallion, like Rush Hour,
The
a lot of
Tuxedo.
earlier ones. The one that really shocked me was Fantasy Mission Force. That was like one done in the 80s. And that got really fucking visceral. Like, people are dying left and right. I'm like, holy shit, this isn't Jackie Chan. It is, but
Oh my god.
Do you know
Jackie
where?
Chan has been acting like since the early '60s.
Yeah.
So he's been in a shit ton of stuff. Oh wow, holy crap! He's still acting pretty heavily today. I did
Yeah.
not know that. I guess are a lot of them voices?
Well, the last thing I saw him in was the Karate Kid remake.
Oh,
And I felt like I didn't like that film, but I felt for his character. Because
I didn't watch it.
okay, so he spends like the entire movie. His character spends the entire movie fixing up a car, and then he starts breaking the car down, like hitting it with a baseball bat and a golf club, and Will Smith's kid comes like, "Why did this?" And he's like, "Because I lost my kids in a car accident and my wife, so I build this car up every year just to break it down." And I'm like, Jesus Christ!
That is heavy.
And
Oh,
you're teaching karate? Why? Like that's got some weight behind it, and then you've just got like Jaden Smith just being like, "I want to learn kung fu."
see, there is also a difference in it's depending on the actor. I can't stand any cringe comedy from fucking Ben Stiller. Right? None of it. Can't handle it. But you throw me any movie starring Robin Williams.
Robin Williams is knee slapper in my opinion.
Is it?
He will
Yes.
he will make the comedy meaningful.
Jim Carrey is Ace Ventura is a good example of cringe.
He can. Yeah. Okay. I can.
And
I can see that.
I think
Well, then you've got Liar Liar. Like that's
Liar
not
Liar
cringe.
is in some places is kind of cringe, but it's like borderline because at one point you know that everything he's saying is something that you would be thinking in that situation,
Yeah.
but he can't help but actually say it because it's the truth according to him.
Yeah. I mean, Steve Carell has done his own runs of cringe comedy with like 40-Year-Old Virgin, which was still funny.
40-Year-Old Virgin.
Wait, what did I say? What did I say? Steve Carell? I meant Ben Stiller.
No. I'm
No.
segueing
He's
into
going
Steve
on a nice
Carell.
Well,
Like,
Oh,
with-
okay. I'm sorry.
like Steve
like,
Carell with
they-
The Office, like that's the most cringe-worthy boss you could have, but he still means well.
Steve.
I think the last actual like modern cringe comedy that I could actually sit through was Me, Myself, and Irene.
I heard a lot about that at the time.
I think I know that film. Hold on.
Yeah, it rings.
Jim
I haven't seen
Carrey
it, but
split personality.
yeah, where he's like have him's a drill
He's a
sergeant, have
Rhode
him's a really
Island-
nice guy.
He's a Rhode Island Highway Patrol.
Yeah.
It was from year 2000.
Was that 2000?
Yep. It was released in 2000.
No wonder I could sit through it and actually enjoy it.
Yeah, and there's a scene where like he's actually breastfeeding on a chick, like because of the personality, and I think during shooting he was so fucking embarrassed about it. I'm like, okay.
But so like yeah, I can't stand cringe comedy because it's gone from just being goofy funny to this guy's got to get fucked up and there's nothing
He can do
it's
about
something
it,
that
so you
no
better
one would
laugh.
actually want to be. It's a situation that no one would want to be in or live down. Yet it just keeps happening to them over and over
Yeah.
and over again, and it's just like no, thank you. I can't watch Superbad.
I never watched Superbad.
Don't.
I can't watch without a paddle.
I can't watch Superbad. I can't watch this, that, or the other. There's so many different movies that so many people absolutely love, and I just can't stand them because of the style of comedy that they are. It's almost
I
all through shock value, and I can't do shock value. Pure shock value just bugs me. Then again, I can't really watch slasher flicks that much. Slasher and ghost movies. I can't stand either of them. Ghost movies because they legitimately freak me the fuck out. And slashers, I don't know.
What about 16 Ghosts?
16? You mean 13?
13. I'm sorry.
I think I watched that one, and I refuse to watch it again.
think the last piece of cringe comedy I sat through was Accepted. Like that was the name of the movie. Is Accepted. Just a bunch of kids like form their own.
Because it is immediately sexual.
Yes, Topaz. You haven't seen it. It's got Seth Green, Matthew Lillard, and someone else.
So, like, I can watch vampire movies. I love werewolf movies. My favorite werewolf movie is Ginger Snaps. Freaking, my second one is Dog Soldiers, by the way. I love vampire movies as well. I think I already said that. Zombie movies are almost always fun.
Man, I feel so uncultured because the only werewolf movie I know is Underworld.
Oh, I
And
know.
that's not even a werewolf film. It's just fucking that or Van
It's-
Helsing.
It's a werewolf movie, vampire movie thing.
I think.
But Van Helsing was actually pretty enjoyable for me.
Okay, so it's. I think I've only seen a few. Like, obviously, I think I've seen Teen Werewolf, right? That was a movie, right?
Yeah,
But then there
It
was All American Werewolf.
Oh, John Landis.
Yeah,
American Werewolf and freaking
in London. Yeah,
London.
American
And
Werewolf.
then didn't they have a Paris one as well?
I don't know. I've only seen that
I don't
one.
remember either. But like, yeah.
Yes, there was.
So,
Um,
fun fact,
if you
like
like,
the
if you like freaking werewolf movies, watch freaking Ginger Snaps. And if you like both werewolf movies and military-esque movies, watch Dog Soldiers. Just because he's got a lot of hair in places, Paz, does not mean he's a werewolf.
Topaz, he is the werewolf John Candy. He just gets funnier after midnight. That was a cheap shot. That was a cheap shot.
I'm very confused right
That
now.
sounds more like a Gremlins than a werewolf, but okay. Freaking, I can watch like super like insane monster movies like the Tremors movies. Freaking,
Oh my.
what is that?
I'm from Forks.
So there is one creature flick that I can't watch.
What's that?
The Thing.
Why not?
I just can't. It freaks me out. It freaks me the hell out, man. I'm not even joking. It just freaks me out so much I can't watch it.
That's fair. I'll admit, live on air, Blair Witch Project scared the fucking pants off of me.
Oh, I can't do that kind of shit. I don't do horror though. For me, I don't do horror. See, you want to know what my perfect horror film is? Shutter
Zombieland?
Island. No, Shutter Island.
I don't think I ever watched that one.
Shutter Island is not technically a horror film. It's a mystery thriller, but it's kind of scary. It's really fucking good, and I hope you watch it at some point.
Silence of the Lambs or Hannibal or freaking Red Dragon count as flicks?
Maybe.
Slasher
Let me look at horror.
I'd count them.
Would you count them as slasher flicks?
Is there slashing done on screen?
There's quite a bit.
Isn't
yes,
isn't
then yes, I
Silence?
would.
Hold on. Silence of the Lambs, that's a horror film?
Is it? That's what I'm asking. Is it a horror film?
Well, Anthony
I
Hopkins is
wouldn't
Hannibal Lecter. Yeah.
no.
It is.
Because
No,
It is.
no.
I know it's a suspenseful film.
No, that's a thriller. That is 100% a thriller. And this is going to sound incredibly
Pedantic.
just offensive towards horror film watchers. Horror films have no story. The only story is that everybody dies. Mysteries or thrillers have story.
Well, by that,
connection
by that
between
definition, Halo Reach is a horror game.
Halo Reach has a story.
But everyone dies.
No.
But it has a story.
It has a story.
I'm gonna fight. No, I'm not gonna fight on this.
Freaking so a horror film
like
that
the
has
year
a story.
1922. I mean, if you were into alcohol, sure.
Here's
If you
an
like
example.
booze and Chicago typewriters, 1922 was a great year.
Great. Go.
So like, an example of horror stories or horror movies that actually have a bit of a story to them, that are actually a passable story, are like a lot of slasher flicks, like earlier slasher flicks, like the Michael Myers movies.
Psycho.
No, those were horror. Psycho is again, that's a mystery thriller.
I'm talking about no, it's a slasher flick. It's still considered horror because the idea behind it is to scare the shit out of you.
Well, the other thing about Psycho
That's what defines a movie as a horror flick, because it's trying to scare you. It's putting you in a very tense, scary situation as you watch the movie. And
according
another
to
one,
the critics, Psycho is a horror mystery thriller.
Psycho's a more horror mystery thriller. Yeah.
Yes.
I can agree with that.
Silence of the Lambs is a crime drama thriller.
Okay.
And hold on, you said the Mike Myers films.
Michael Myers, yeah, like freaking Halloween.
Yeah,
No,
Halloween.
Don't search Michael Myers, you'll get Austin
Yeah,
Powers.
I know. Okay, I'm gonna go with the original. I'm gonna click. Halloween is considered a horror.
Right.
Halloween is
That's
a
what
horror.
it should be.
Halloween actually has a story to it.
Well, but
It's not even really a shallow story. If you actually like watch the different movies, you can see an underlying story actually coming out. It's got a story to it. Now, Scream doesn't have a story.
But Scream's a parody.
No, you're thinking of Scary Movie.
No, I'm not. Here's the thing. Scary Movie did have scenes from Scream in it, but because of what Scream was, they didn't have to change a single thing about those scenes for it to become parody. Because Scream itself is a horror mystery thriller. According to the critics.
It's not a parody.
Okay. That everyone has described Scream that I've talked to has described Scream as a thriller, as a parody, because it's not a serious film.
Because it doesn't have a story. Scream doesn't really have a story. Final Destination, horror film, doesn't have a story.
Okay, I can agree with that.
Freaking,
My Bloody
I agree with you
Valentine
that
doesn't.
a lot of horror movies don't have stories. Freaking, what's the movies for about the possessions and stuff?
Oh shit.
The
I couldn't tell
Exorcist
you.
movies.
Okay, yeah.
Those are
The
horror.
Exorcist movies, those are horror, but those have stories to them. Legit, they do. Not everybody dies, but they have stories to them. Freaking, there are a lot of horror movies that have stories to them. Freaking,
Would you consider
there's
them good stories?
some of them, actually, yes.
Okay, which ones?
So, like, the Exorcist movie that took place in Africa in, like, the 1920s, I want to say?
Resident Evil? No.
No.
I'm teasing.
Hang on. There's one. This is like the only ghost movie that I've actually ever sat all the way through, but that's because the chick that I was sitting next to me, I was trying to get into her pants.
Yeah,
What's the
that
name
was
of
the
it?
same with me in Chernobyl. I watched no, it wasn't Chernobyl. I'm sorry. It was Paranormal Activity 3. I was 18, she was 17. She couldn't get in to see it alone, so she asked me to take her to it.
So
And
you
I
just
really
tucked her
wanted
into your
to.
jacket
Unborn.
and smuggled her in.
That's the movie.
No, no.
So-
I mean, if never mind.
So The Unborn.
Okay.
This movie actually had an interesting story, but it scared the shit out of me. The whole premise behind the movie is that unborn twins try, like, they want you. They want to take your soul. Not your soul, but your body. They want to take your place. I have an unborn twin. This movie scared the living daylights out of me.
So it's that's not a story. How is that a story?
That's the premise behind the start of the story. Okay? But the story starts the whole plot of it is she starts going through all the shit. It's based on it's actually based on a Jewish freaking
Folktale.
folktale, yeah. But it goes through and this demon, this creature has been trying to the story is all about how this creature has been trying to take her body and her efforts to get it to stop.
Okay, I'm gonna pause you right there, and I'm gonna bitch about something for a half a second. Topaz, how the fuck do you like that movie, but you can't sit through Back to the Future? I'm gonna ask you that right now.
What's wrong
Because-
Can't sit through
What's
Back to
wrong
the
with
Future.
Michael J. Fox?
Oh man, don't get me started on me and Topaz with movies.
Okay, so don't start on you and Topaz movies, and we won't get you started. Back to what I was saying. Freaking, that actually, the story of it was actually interesting. You know, but just the whole concept of it, fucking shit, scared the fucking bejesus out of me. And then I got into the girl's pants, and then I never wanted to watch the movie again. It was a very fun morning the next morning when we woke up and...
Yeah, one of them's horrible, the other one's great.
Are you still arguing with Paz?
Yes.
Got it.
She's not here.
But
At
where
the
is
house.
she?
She's at work.
Oh, okay.
I'm
She's
sitting here trying to fucking pop my spine and it's not working. Just, god damn it.
You know what, Topaz? I will agree with you. There are parts of Back to the Future that are cringy, like when his mom tries to fuck him. That was kind of cringy.
No.
Yeah, but that's not the entire movie, though.
I know it's not. That's just why I said there are parts of it.
Well, here's the
Like
thing. She can't.
When he's up on stage, and he's doing the thing with the guitar and the and all that.
It's not cringy.
That made me cringe, so I
For like
find
a
it cringy.
for like a half a second. She hasn't even seen the whole film, so
It's,
she can't say it's cringy.
It's a cater of insects.
I'm-
Watch for the beats and try to keep up. Like, where's the cringe?
It's just the whole dancing with the freaking going back and forth on his back on the stage, and everybody who's out in the audience is like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, he reverts. He reverts to the '80s. That's what he knows.
Yeah,
It's cringe. It's cringy,
not,
but
though.
it's what he
Cringe-
knows as a character. Like, this is how I
Okay,
play guitar.
Cringe has no cringe. What makes something cringy is something that you would. It was simply there for a joke, and it has no explanation within the story.
I am going to disagree with you. I'm going to say something that is cringy at any given point is something that makes you cringe. But cringe
Bad
cringe comedy is exactly what you just described in its present state.
Back to
It
the
has no
Future is
actual
not
bearing
horrible.
on the story itself.
Yeah, there is no reason for that to be like that.
Other than to get a reaction out of you.
Yeah.
Topaz.
That's
Topaz,
exactly what the state of current cringe comedy
I would
is.
agree.
Topaz, you got to see Back to the Future 3. Fight me.
And she has to see all three of them.
Can y'all just stop trying to tell Topaz to freaking watch Backs to the Future? If she doesn't want to watch it, don't make her watch it.
That's not my problem. That's her problem.
There are movies. There are movies that you just need to learn how to fight your battles on.
Yeah, and fucking John Wick
Alright.
is mine.
All right, I'm just gonna put this out there.
Bye, Paz.
Later.
I'm just gonna put this out there. I can't get her to watch any movie. So, it's not a fight your battles, it's I can't find anything. And then so I'm reverting back to good movies, such as Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And movies that I think are great.
Okay. So
This sounds like the fight between my uncle and my dad. Because, like, my uncle's like, this movie's great, and I agree with my uncle most of the time. My dad's like, this is stupid. Like John Wick. I love those fucking movies. My dad's like, these are dumb. I'm like, but the fucking... Do you see the gun fu? Do you not see the gun? Like, Jesus Christ.
the whole point of the movie is to see the gung fu.
Yeah. And fucking, it's not like Taken 1 where there are 20 separate takes to climb a fucking fence. They're long shots of, like, deliberate action sequences.
Yeah, that was probably the coolest thing of Wick, the John Wick movies. Is
Yeah.
all of the action, not all of, 90%, I think, of the action films are all just one long take.
And then you two have seen 3, yeah?
I have not seen 3 yet.
Okay.
I have seen 2, but I have not yet seen 3. I'm not
Okay.
going to see 3 yet until it's actually available for me to watch.
Okay, I will say nothing then, because I don't want to ruin it. But there's
Yes.
some really good
You say
fight
nothing.
scenes in 3.
I kind of figured. It's John Wick. It's Keanu Reeves. Ever since,
I
the
know
third
Kung
Matrix.
Fu.
Ever since the third Matrix, most of the movies he's been in that had fight scenes, they were really good fight scenes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that the Matrix actually kind of made that happen for him. He was like, you know what? I'm not
Well, I mean,
doing this
his,
shit anymore. We're going to do...
His stuntman in The Matrix is directing the John Wick movies.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, like, Chad Stahelski and Keanu have this kind of collaborative effect on how John Wick plays out. So, okay, yeah, Keanu's the actor, but he knows what's going on the action front. Like, have you seen his training, like, on YouTube?
Yeah, you showed it to me.
Like, the turn tactical shit, it's like, what the fuck? You can quad load a breech-loaded shotgun? Twice? Like, quad loading is what you do when you're like just a professional sportsman, like doing clay pigeon shooting. Motherfucker, you're doing this as like military training. It's like, wow. Moving on.
Well, actually, there isn't much to move on to. It is currently 8 o'clock.
Yes, it is.
We have gone through no articles, but we had fun talking, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I
would
think
agree.
we had fun talking about a lot of different subjects that a couple of different articles that we've seen have inspired.
True.
Yes.
Except for one that I wanted to talk about, but
Sorry for the conversation being just too good to
Again?
stop.
It's
Again,
too organic. It's free range conversation.
again, I don't really have an issue with it. I spent like half the morning this morning reading shit about
Whatever.
the Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
god damn, do I want that game even more.
I've been trying to go blind in on it. It's like I
want to,
want
and
nothing.
like
So
I want.
y'all are fanboying about Outer Worlds, and I'm still fanboying about Doom Eternal. It's
my
apparently
dude, I want
apparently-
Doom Eternal as much as you do.
apparently everything that made Doom 2016 great is being amped in Doom Eternal. The levels are bigger, the lore is deeper, the story's actually kind of there.
Yeah.
You know, like Doom 2016, it had a bit of a story. It had enough of a story, whereas you could actually get behind it, and it was all kind of hidden there in the lore and whatnot. Doom is the opening for the universe. It gives you little tidbits here and there.
All I want is Mick Gordon,
Mick Gordon.
the composer.
Yes.
Just
Dude, freaking, I went into the grocery store on Saturday, and I was tired, and I'm like, I really just don't want to deal with people. How can I make this better? You know what? I'm just going to put on my freaking Bluetooth headphones and listen to Doom. And holy shit.
Can I help you, sir? Face full of pasta sauce. Fuck you. Sword. I don't know. Fucking. But
It just made
things
the
better.
whole grocery shopping experience better. Just like it makes just about anything better. Because whenever I'm doing maintenances now, where I'm just working, I just put on music and listen to it in these Bluetooth headphones.
that's
They're
a work
actually
of
the
art.
Bluetooth headphones that we were talking about before. It's like I'm not going to bring them up into an attic because they can just so easily fall off. But
Yeah.
most of the time, I'm not in an attic. So yeah, I use them for freaking hands-free talking with people that call me, and I use it for music, and it's working great for me. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for tonight's episode of Locked and Loaded, where we just did organic freeform conversation about things that we love. Gentlemen, closing remarks. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to assume your gender like that, Pav. I mean, you are kind of invisible. I can't tell if you're a dude or not.
It's true.
There's no tits in the fucking overcoat.
I
could
say
model
would be
that
a very
as such.
flat-chested woman.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've known some very, very, very
Fucking-
flat-chested women.
Pav confirmed for A cups. He's gonna kill me for that.
I don't know if he's upset because you said that he actually had a cup size, or that if they were too small.
I think it was because I had a cup size. that was the initial reaction.
You're like, what? Don't call me out on stream, man. What are you doing?
No, we were having a conversation about being flat chested, and you said A cups, and for some reason that made me offended.
You're like, dude, I'm
How
a B at
dare
least.
you?
I'm a
How
double
dare
D.
you? They
Come
might be
on.
man-
Fucking.
They might be man boobs, but they're at least the C cup. All right.
No, as in they're not even A cups. That's what I was. How can you be
that's half the
flat chested and have
joke.
a? Never mind.
Well, you're still flat chested if you have it. You're still considered flat
Oh
chested if
man.
you have A cup, buddy.
Really? I thought A
Yeah.
cups were at least protruding boobs.
They are,
N-
but it's still
A
considered
cups?
flat chested because you
No.
have small breasts.
A cups? No. From what I've seen, no.
Yeah, they're kind of little
Okay, then
just
why the
buds.
fuck? Hold on, then why the fuck would you? Never mind. Let's close out
Why
the
would
show.
you wear A cups? Because
Why?
you know societal expectations. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and good night.
Good night, everybody.